Okay, we are back, and I have the Surface 12-inch that was just released by Microsoft about a week ago, and I've been putting it through its paces. Now, I did an unboxing and, of course, a first look. I'll leave a link in the description below to that video if you didn't catch it. This is in the ocean color. This is all metal, so the premium qualities here. I have the keyboard cover. They're not calling it a cover, actually. They're just calling it a keyboard. No raised typing angle this time around, and it is backlit, so that's good news. And it has the Alcantara on the bottom, but it's a really nice premium rubberized feel on the top, so it has a nice grip to it. A really strong magnet here. You're not going to lose it when the keyboard is connected to this unit, and of course it is a very, very secure connection. Again, no raised typing angle, which is the one thing you're going to miss from the bigger sibling we'll look at in a moment. It has a really nice display. It's got 90 hertz in terms of the refresh rate, slightly lower resolution, but we're seeing incredible battery life with this unit because it's running the Snapdragon X Plus, the 42100, but I'm seeing over 20 plus hours. In fact, I think with this one, I'm getting 23 maybe hours or so on the video playback test, which I was able to run with the PC Mark X suite of tests. And of course, this is an ARM-based processor, so there are some things you're going to have to understand with this, that there are going to be some x86 apps that may not work or may not work properly. Although Prism, which is the emulation or the language that they're using to translate this to use x86 apps, is actually really good. But it's not a perfect solution, and there are still things that can be better in terms of driver support and overall things. So Linux, I couldn't get working on this, but that's I don't know if I have to work on that, although I'm not really seeing too much compatibility yet on Linux, although it should be here by now. You're losing some ports here. You're losing the Surface Connect port. You don't get that like you do get on the bigger 13-inch model. And you are losing USB 4.0 support. So that's another thing. No Thunderbolt USB 4.0 that you'd get on the Surface laptop, or Surface Pro for Business, or the Surface Pro 13-inch that we looked at. We looked at the OLED. We also looked at the LCD. And of course, this is the smaller sibling, the 12-inch. So that is one difference between the smaller version here. And of course, it comes in cheaper, although I was able to pick up the OLED model on the Surface Pro 13-inch in black for a little over $1,000, like new on Amazon. I'll leave links for it in the description below. But this has the OLED display. It is absolutely gorgeous, and you could see it there. I have a really nice video running on there, but I will tell you, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I did a review of this. I'll put a link in the description below. I also looked at the OLED model for that Surface Pro for Business. So that has been really good, but we're here for this one right now. And the question remains is, who is this for, right? So if you can get those on sale, you're getting more features. You're getting a higher refresh rate, 120 hertz versus 90, higher resolution, even an option for OLED you don't get on this one. So it may be a hard sell for some of you, but where I'm seeing tremendous longevity is in the battery life. Again, 23 or so hours on the video playback. So you're looking at all day and then some taking this on the go. Now, it is thinner, it's lighter, and it's very portable. And again, the pen sticks magnetically on the back. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is a Surface Pro 12-inch. Again, I got to get used to the names here. It's a little confusing. The Surface Pro 12-inch, brand new for 2025. The review is coming up. All right, we're going to start off with the build and design, and this thing is thin, it's light, it's got an all-metal design here. Now, lifting the kickstand, by the way, the kickstand goes back as far as any other Surface. I don't see a big difference between the two, but you'll notice that there's no slot for storage expansion like you get on the 13-inch. This has nothing, so that is one difference. And the other difference is this is UFS storage versus SSD storage, which is going to be slower than the bigger sibling. So that's one thing, non-expandable UFS storage on this. So that's a little bit of a negative, although it's certainly fast enough for what you're going to do with this 2-in-1 convertible, but detachable. But I think it would have been great to have storage expansion. You don't get that. All right, let's get a measurement of the weight with just the tablet alone, 684 grams. All right, so the 13-inch with the Snapdragon X Plus and LCD panel comes in at 867 grams. And the OLED model comes in at 890 grams. So that's the heaviest of the three. And for those wondering, the Huawei MatePad Pro 13-inch here comes in at 613 grams. That, of course, is the paper matte version with this gorgeous display there. You can see it there. It is pretty gorgeous. Ocean color. This is a really nice color. It's a grayish, greenish color, and it's very sleek. It doesn't show too much fingerprints. It could also come in a brand new variant, which is the violet color. I don't have that one. And then, of course, the platinum, which we're very familiar with, that we've seen before. But that is tried and true, shows the minimal amount of fingerprints. But I'm a big fan of this ocean color. I wish they would offer it on the bigger siblings. Not something we see, but we have some interesting colors for the consumer there. Interestingly enough, the Surface Pro for Business only comes in platinum and black for whatever reason. All right, it's a business, right? As far as ports are concerned, you get two USB 3.2 Gen 2, and they're both located on the right side. You also get a there is no headphone jack or anything like that. Those are the ports. On the top is your power button and your volume rocker up and down. That's it. No Surface Connect port, no headphone jack. So again, these are things that should have been there. And again, I'm not going to cry a tear of not having the Surface Connect port like you get on this one, which is the Surface Pro 13-inch, and you can see it there. I'm not going to shed a tear. And the reason I'm not going to shed a tear is because I got plenty of USB-C ports lying around. What I am going to complain about is why not put an extra USB-C port on the left side so you can have two on the right, one on the left, balancing it out, making it more convenient. Having it just on the right side here is a big inconvenience because I have a lot of cables and stuff or docks that I'd like to connect it to the left side, but because it is on the right side, it's inconvenient. So I'm not crazy about the placement there. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. The kickstand is rigid. It's got that excellent engineering that we've come to expect from a Surface. You can go back as far as you see there, so you can lay it almost flat, but not quite. So it gives you a nice raised angle to do some note taking and artwork and all that stuff. And of course, it does have a Windows Hello camera. So that means you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. So this is the front facing camera on the Surface Pro 12-inch, brand new here for 2025. 1080p IR camera. That means you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. And of course, what do you think about the video sound quality? What do you think about the audio quality? Now, it does have the auto framing. It does have the eye contact. So all the studio effects are here. Black background blur here, standard blur, portrait blur. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments section below. The display, and we'll talk about the display right now, is very good. Although it is an IPS display, it is 90 hertz. Not quite as good as the OLED or the LCD on the 13-inch, and those are 120 hertz. This is 90 hertz. Now, I'm not upset about that. I think 90 hertz is a good blend between performance and also better power efficiency. So we're seeing excellent battery life, as we'll show you in a little bit. The keyboard is backlit. It connects. It's got a strong connection, as I mentioned. Touchpad is a standard type touchpad, responsive for scrolling, doing all the gestures. The display has a multi-touch layer. It also has pen support for the Surface Pen. That worked very well. So overall, very, very good. And it stores and charges on the back of the unit, as you see there. So that has worked out pretty well. So when it comes to performance, you're not going to be winning any awards here in terms of speed, but it is certainly adequate for doing Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, consuming media, watching Netflix, Amazon, YouTube. It's been perfectly fine. It's an 8-core processor. It's a very efficient processor. So if you stick to the basics for doing those everyday type tasks and watching movies and all that stuff, this is a great option for those that don't want to break the bank and carry something thin and light, very portable with them on the go. So this certainly fits the bill. Single multi-core performance is actually in line with other Snapdragon X Plus processors, not quite as good as a Snapdragon X Elite that we saw on the 13-inch model with that OLED. So that is pretty good in terms of the 13-inch. And we also saw the X Plus, the mid-tier one that we looked at, and that, of course, had the LCD panel. That also did a little bit better than this one, which is the 42-100. So there is a difference between the X Pluses that are offered in this 2-in-1 detachable. Now, thermals are interesting on this unit. Now, this is a fanless design, meaning there's no active cooling on this. So you will notice a little bit of throttling when you do heavy sustained workloads, but nothing too dramatic here. And it is completely silent, so you don't have to contend with any fan noise. So that's a big advantage, I think. For doing everyday tasks, you don't have to worry about fan noise, something you have to worry about on other devices, including its bigger siblings, the Surface Pro 13. But this Surface Pro 12-inch definitely has an advantage in being a completely silent unit. So that has been pretty good. And the surface temperatures never got overly hot, even under load. So they've kept it at bay. Again, performance is not going to be overwhelming here, but definitely good enough for everyday use. Thermals overall pretty good. Now, as far as battery life, this thing has been outstanding, getting more than 20 plus hours on the video playback. Now, the other test that PC Mark 10 has is not compatible with Windows and ARM, but this gives us a very good indicator of excellent efficiency and battery life. This is certainly all day. I've used this in real world usage. You're going to get through all day and then some. You may have to charge it every couple of days, but really, I gotta say it's very good. Now, as far as the charging, does not come with the charger, and that's a big negative in my book. You can get the charger that they offer on their website. It's an extra, I think, $69 for the charger, and to me, that is a big ripoff. It's a page out of Apple's book. That's something that they would do, but they're even including chargers with their MacBooks, I believe, right? Even with the MacBook Air, I don't remember, but not a good look, Microsoft. I don't like that you're nickel and diming your customers. This should be included in the box. So unfortunately, that's not the case. Now, okay, let's get a test of the sound here. And on the left is the brand new Surface Pro 12-inch, and on the right is the OLED version of the Surface Pro 13-inch. Let's give them a listen, and you let me know what you think in the comments section below. Surface Pro 13-inch OLED. All right, let's compare it to the Huawei MatePad Pro with the paper matte display. All right, let's talk pricing here. And this comes in at a starting price of $799. That's for the entry-level model. I think it has 256 gigabytes of storage. This was $899 in this color called Ocean, as I mentioned. That's extra, but this comes with 512 gigabytes of UFS storage and non-upgradable. And this has 16 gigabytes of memory. That's going to be standard across the line. There's no option for 32. That's not a huge deal. I think 16 is the right choice here for this level of device. And I think for the audience it's targeting, it's going to be more than enough for 95% of you out there. If you need something more, step up to the 13-inch that will offer up to 32 on their models. And then, of course, business models are a whole separate ballgame. We'll talk about that. But overall, 16 gigabytes is what you're going to get on this. I would stay away from the 256 gigs of storage in the entry-level model. To me, it's a non-starter. It's not something that's viable here in 2025. You'll fill it up really quick, and there's no storage expansion, at least not internally like you could do on these. Now, as far as Wi-Fi on this, you're looking at Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth combo card, not upgradable either, but it is Wi-Fi 7. That's good to see, making it a bit more future-proof. I had no issue with the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth, so all working very well. So overall, what do I think about the Surface Laptop 12-inch? This is surprisingly good. I was coming in ready to bash this, I'll be honest with you. I thought, what is the purpose of this? It's 12 inches. It's got a lesser resolution in the display, a lower refresh rate, although it is pretty good, 90 hertz, better than 60. We'll talk about that in the Surface Laptop 13-inch review. But as far as this is concerned, I kind of like it. Why do I like it? Because of the battery life, which is outstanding. I like it because the display is still very nice. Although it is smaller, it's a lighter device. It's more portable. It's a very thin device. And it takes advantage of a lot of the things the bigger sibling has, but not quite as heavy. So you're going to have a better tablet experience with this than you would on that. This is easier to hold for longer periods of time, and using it with the pen worked out really well. So Surface Pen is the same Surface Pen that we've seen. It's the Carpenter style. It worked well, taking notes, sketching out artwork. So this has been a very good experience, especially with the battery life. The performance is, like I said, very good for what it is. It's when you try to use highly specialized apps, if you try to do gaming on this, I think that's where you're going to run into some trouble. This is not really great for those kind of things, but that's not why you're buying this. This is a very good secondary device. It's good for a student, and I do recommend it. This was something I was ready to bash, I'll be honest with you, but having used it for the past week and a half or so, I gotta say, it's actually pretty darn good. Build quality surpassed all my expectations. Battery life exceeded anything in my wildest dreams. That's been that good. The only thing I would say is maybe 120 hertz, but not a big deal on this 12-inch device. Again, price is going to be key here. Now, the big problem is going to be is when you can get these on sale, where these become more of a value proposition on sale, but they have more features. That's where you're going to have some interesting debates here. I'll leave links for everything in the description below, but as is, I think it's a win here, and I think Microsoft did a great job. Again, I bought this one. It was not sent a review unit, so this is my unbiased opinion, and I was ready to bash it, like I said, but it turned out to be a little bit of a pleasant surprise, but I want to know what you think in the comment section below. So we're trying to hit our 250,000 subscriber goal. We're at 224, almost at 225, so almost halfway there. I want to thank you for the tremendous amount of growth we've been seeing on the channel. It's been tremendous, and I have a lot more to come. So if you are a casual viewer of my content, why not hit that subscribe button? It doesn't cost anything, and it certainly helps support the channel. If you're gonna buy a Surface device, why not use my affiliate links in the description below? Yes, I get a small commission, and no, it's not a lot of money, but it does help go to support the channel, and I do very much appreciate that. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.